Insight. What are we doing today?
Episode 12. So last week we talked about why we focus on branding. Today we're going to cover a different topic, which is our role as designers.
Yeah.
So last week, it was last week, we had a pretty in-depth conversation about your recent realization.
Yeah. He makes it sound really good, but it was actually a meltdown. I think I had a cry over lunch. We were trying to price a project, and I got really stuck because I found myself trying to, and I don't know why all of a sudden I've had this realization. It's like stuff we already knew, but I think it just hit me hard last week. I was very worn down. The realization that we're not just pricing people for like the end product for design, that we're pricing the whole thinking process, which we already knew and we talked about, and I'm sure we've talked about it in one of our insights before, but last week it sort of just hit home that we're not just makers, we're thinkers as well.
Yeah.
Wild idea.
So how has it changed in the past week?
I don't know. I think I've just put a lot more thought into what we do now and what our idea and what we understand about design and the services that we have differ from like when we were kids.
Yeah.
It's so far different. But my understanding is that you have something for me today.
Oh yeah, so
you can kick off.
We're doing a bit of a show and tell.
That he didn't tell me about, so.
Yes. So what I want to cover is our first taste in design. Because usually what we imagined it to be
So different.
is different to what it actually is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a bit of context. Everything is context. So I was back in primary school. This was my I was usually like a very creative kid, I guess. I was into like creative
Weird
things.
flex, but okay.
Like playing with Lego and like the string game. Let's do it. So I think grade 4 or 5, I had a very talented graphic designer and illustrator friend. And for a class project, we had to design a magazine.
How old were you when you did this?
I don't know. I suck at drawing.
Okay.
And coloring and all these things. That was my first taste of design. We had to design a magazine. And we were very into Pokemon back in the day.
Hurry up, show.
So here are some examples. These are just drafts of the final thing. Yeah, so our talented friend created the poster and the magazine on Publisher. These are just some drafts we all put together. It's quite advanced with the coloring. But these are some of the drafts I have that I've made.
You made these all by yourself?
I think with the input of the team as well.
Okay,
But it was a group activity.
These two are my favorites, so
they're fun. They're gonna see.
there's lots of really interesting things happening on here. There's words. It says the island of Pokemon, competitions, Pokedex, out and out, and you have some really nice scrapbook style cutouts.
See, we did not.
Did you color this? How long did it take you to color this in with a crayon?
We want
Let's just bring that up close.
We want to make sure the background was blue, but we need to visualize this so I colored the whole thing.
Okay, I love it.
So yes, that was my first encounter with design. I had no idea what I was doing. There's no.
Your handwriting looks really similar.
There's no like thought of design in this at all. It was just about execution. There's no thought of like composition, placement of colors.
No, you just had the ideas, and it's like you took a brainstorm, and instead of starting with the brainstorm, you just put it straight on here. But this is quite cute. How old are you again?
I can't remember. Grade 4 or 5.
It's so cute.
But yes, I got carried by my talented friend who put everything together, printed it, and binded it. I don't have the final product. I don't know where it went.
It's okay. This is beautiful.
But these are some. So yeah, that was my first experience with design, and I had no idea what it was about. I was like, "What is this? Why are we making a magazine?"
I just realized that there's some like hand lettering on here.
Oh yes.
With some shadows.
And outlines. So yes, it's very, I guess, new to the whole thing. I was like, what's the point of a magazine what's design.
Did you know what a magazine was at the time?
Oh yeah, I knew what a magazine was. We did a lot of scrapbooking things. So that's why it came into like the planning.
Scrapbooking.
Yeah. This was my first taste of design. I had no idea what I was doing.
Was it fun though?
Yeah, it was really fun. I think I was mostly inspired by my friend because she's really talented and she pulled everything together. Like, she was born with it or something. I don't know.
That's so cool. She's very talented.
Yes. Yeah, I was like, oh wow, this is very interesting. It's very creative.
I just realized that there's some iterations. So underneath, there's some of the first draft, and then you just went over it.
Oh, no.
Design thinking.
Yeah, it was pretty collaborative because we're all interested in Pokemon. It was pretty easy to put like a magazine together. Like, oh, we want to talk about like a competition, or like talk about the Pokédex and like all these other things. It was really fun, but the execution of my plan not very great.
It's very cute with the skills that you have. Had,
yes.
This is very cute. I guess mine wasn't a brief. You at least had a brief.
It was very open.
Yeah.
Which is unlike in real life. In the real world.
It was very cute.
So yeah, that's my story of my first taste of design. What's yours?
Mine's different. Now mine feels like I was like a weird state school kid now.
I was a state school kid.
No, but like this is cute, and this is like a nice finished product, and it's wholesome because you worked as a team. I didn't work as a team. I think my first taste of design was when we used to have these computers. It was in I think it was also grade 5, grade 4 or 5, and we started with the iMacs.
No, I never had iMacs.
Oh, like the fat round ones? Yeah, we had a few and they were new in the school. And so everyone got it was like half an hour. You get like an allocated half an hour in the week to like use these computers. Mm-hmm. And you could like use it for whatever, to like do a project or something. And I was like playing around with Word, and I chose the slots that were during lunchtime because I knew it wasn't just going to be half an hour. I knew that the lunch would go longer. So I was like, I'm going to take the longest slot I can. So I took lunchtime. So I spent a lot of time in there using the computers at school. And I was like, this is such a nice computer. And at home we had a really dodgy PC. And I thought it was crazy that clip art was a thing and you could just bring clip art. Yeah, I was like, whoa, amazing. So I did all my projects in there. So I guess that was me just decorating. But my first real touch of design, I really liked WWE when I was in primary school.
I think you really told me that. Yes.
Yeah, so I really liked WWE, and a lot of my friends did as well. Like, they had their favorite fighters. And my friend, her name was Taylor, she loved John Cena. And I was like, that's so cool. And because we all had our own logins on the computer, you could personalize it with your own desktops. So I thought it would be really fun if I made my friend a desktop background. And I was like, hey, I'll make you a desktop background. So I went home one afternoon and I played around on Paint on my old PC. And I went on Google Images and I looked up John Cena and I found all these pictures of him and I dragged them into Paint and I made like a collage of him, cutting him out like the background and stuff with paint, rubbing it out and moving it. But you know with paint, once you move it, you can't move it again.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of trying to work in restrictions, and it took so long. Like I was there for like hours trying to put together a background, cutting things out and learning like how to use the software. I was like, man, paint is frustrating. If I do it, there's no way to undo it. Like can't move it again. So I did that for one friend, and she logged in the next day, and everyone was like, wow, this is really cool. And I had to email it to her. I didn't have an email address. I had to email it to her on my parents' home address. So everyone came in and they were like, Taylor, your background is really cool. And she was like, yeah, Kendra did it. And so I started charging people.
My entrepreneur.
So Mum told me that I could only have tuck shop money once at the end of each semester. I was like, I want tuck shop every week. So I started charging as this grade 5er.
How much were you charging?
$5 per background. Oh, wow. I was charging $5 per background. It would take me like an hour to do it. Over time, it only took me half an hour. So everyone in my class had a background of either their favorite like WWE fighter, or it was like their favorite celebrity or something. I made like a Johnny Depp one, I think. There were a few really random ones out there. So I made these really cool ones in grade 5. And then people knew me for that. And then as I like grew up and IT started becoming part of the curriculum, we got to grade 7. And I don't know if you ever had one. It was really popular when we went to high school. Bebo?
No, I never used Bebo.
Okay, Bebo was, I guess for those who don't know, was like a MySpace, Facebook OG. Like it was the Facebook that younger kids could use. And you could have these themes on your Bebo page. And you had like a themed header, and you could theme the fonts, and you could theme everything. But it was all in like HTML. And I was like, what is this? This is crazy. And I was like, well, I know how to make the background. Because I'd been doing it on Paint for all this time. By this time I was using Publisher. I had upgraded.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. So I was using Publisher to make all these backgrounds. And I was like, well, I can learn how to do this basic code. And so I eventually started selling people Bebo themes. So I'd make people custom Bebo themes and sell them. They were selling them for like $10. And so everyone had really cool themed Bebo skins. So that's how I started design. I just wanted to make more money, and it was just really fun.
So I guess how...
See, that's why ours is so different.
Yeah, mine was just a school project.
Yeah, no. I didn't get... I think we didn't have much cool things. Like, I don't ever remember working in a team to make... Like, besides, like, science projects. They were kind of lame. But when we got the computers, that's when I was really interested. And we didn't start learning about IT or ICT or whatever it was called back then until, like, grade 7. But by that time, I'd started in grade 5 because I was like, what is this? This is wild.
Yours is more, like, tech-heavy.
Yeah,
on
I guess
the computer making things. Mine was just, like, scrapbooking with paper.
I think because before I was just, like, if we go even before then, like, I was also a creative child. I really liked drawing things.
I suck at drawing.
I really liked it. My dad's really good. So I started there. But when tech came, I was like, well, this is so much faster. So that's when I was like, well, we can do things faster. And it's easier and it wasn't so much effort. You can make money out of it.
Yeah. We just struggled.
And here we are.
So do you want to talk about, like, the whole... I guess there's so many definitions of design. And what is your definition of design?
I think for me, design is... What was that?
Is this from a realization last week?
No. I guess this is like what my little epiphany. And then also like stuff we've been talking about over the week since my epiphany. Design is problem solving with creativity.
Yeah.
Like, if we look back, you needed a magazine cover.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone had different skills. You just had to think about how you were gonna bring them all together and make something, an end product.
Yeah.
I saw a problem. Someone didn't have a background. I could fix that. But it was the process along the way that I think made it different to if I was just making something and someone wanted what I had made.
Yeah.
She had a problem, I tried to solve it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what I understand is like what we do now and what design is now.
Yeah.
I guess that's like a whole art versus design thing.
Because it's always interesting how, like, the whole conversation of art and design. But I think one of the most important things about design is the problem solving part. And it's not just solving a problem, it's solving a problem under restrictions and limitations. So for example, there's restrictions on, like, I guess, time. You're not making art, you don't, like, have all this free time to make art. There's time, there's, like, end users, the end users of an app or a client or whatever, a product service. And then there's, like, the limitations of the medium you use.
Oh, cool.
Like...
Sorry, go. I have one after.
Okay, like limitations of medium, like such as, like, scrapbooking, Photoshop, photo, video, graphics. There's always a limitation to it, like a material or medium to it. And I think design is working under all the limitations and coming out with the solution to the problem.
Budget is a limitation.
Yeah, budget is limited. Probably one of the biggest ones. Yes. Yeah. So that's how I understand design, and it lives and breathes everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes it's within the design industry, obviously, like interior, because usually I think design, it's usually, I guess, it's more intertwined with the end product, like end result, like a piece of graphic, a piece of video or something. But design starts way before that. It's the whole process of getting A to B.
Sometimes you don't even end up with a tangible product. Yeah. Like I think that's where you're like getting to.
Yeah.
Is that the tangible product sometimes isn't there, and that's what confused me during this coding process. Is that nearly like 90% of the time, I guess this is more like seasoned designers, like people who are way better than us, who are doing this for so many years, or just so efficient at their job. That's why pricing is so important. It's because like they can just do it in like 5 minutes. But it's the process before that. Not even like learning how to do the skill, but all the thinking beforehand to just executing it. Like execution at that point is just a skill.
Yeah, everyone can pretty much execute.
Yeah, like, everyone can. You give them enough time, someone could probably execute something, replicate something. Probably not to the best standard as some other people, but it's the thinking to get to that point that I found it really hard to wrap my head around. But, oh, we actually do that.
Problem solving, what is that?
Like the end product, it could just be really small. But the thinking and the process that we had, like all the meetings, all the talking, all the research, discussion, collaboration beforehand is what people pay for.
Yeah. Design is a process, essentially.
And that's what, I guess, is difficult sometimes to get across to people. Is that you're not just paying for end product, you're paying for the thinking behind it.
Yeah. And it comes to, I guess, how we understand it now is because we have so many disciplines, like graphic design, photo, video, we're still problem solving. And we're not only just solving like one specific problem, whether it's like communication or whatever. We solve a lot of problems, whether it's communication, visual, like a user experience thing, or like a web thing. There's so many different problems we're solving. And yeah, it's a lot different when you just make magazines when you're a child or make backgrounds.
It was a good business.
So I guess for now, it's every problem, or every client that comes to us has a pretty unique problem. And it requires a solution.
I think sometimes, I guess that's what we see a lot in like all of the future stuff that comes out. And that's what a lot of designers talk about. If people come to you asking for one thing, but that's not what they want. They don't know what they want most of the time. Like, no, this logo won't help you sell 1 billion bags, you know?
Yeah.
We don't have any bad clients, I promise. I'm not firing a shot this episode. But yeah, like it's a lot of thinking behind it, and it's like I feel like we're always like teeing a project up before it starts. So more often, even before the project started, there's a lot that's gone into like the thinking process behind it.
Yeah.
Because like we don't want to just deliver a nice art piece to the client for them to have. That's not going to solve their problem. Because in the end, they're not going to be happy. We're not going to be happy. I mean, we might be happy. We got money for it, but they're not going to get value out of that.
It's just a nice looking piece of
artwork. We don't want just nice looking things in the world.
Yeah. So I think that's really all we want to talk about for today. The design and how we play a role in it. And how design plays a role in our lives. Lives and breathes everywhere. Not just creative industries, some other industries as well.
Yeah, like this whole other like interior design, sound design. It's a wild thing I really learned about recently.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, good wrap up. I guess that's all I want to talk about before we start rambling. So I guess we call the episode here.
We'll call it.
We released 2 episodes last week. This will be next week.
Okay.
we released 2 episodes. One would be Our Last Insight, where we talked about branding.
Yep, while we focus on branding.
And we also released a process video for Black Ink for the
Money clip launch.
Money clip launch. I'm like, which one was it? Yeah, Money clip launch.
Yeah.
We've got some more cool things in the works.
Yeah.
I'm
Just
filming
find my
another day this
Are you?
week. Yeah, Saturday.
Oh. Are you editing this one?
No, the editing process was really difficult and I wasted a bit of time, so
Okay.
you could do it.
Alright, that's fun.
But yeah, look out for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we'll
Everyone's
see you.
safe.
Yeah, safe from Corona. We're all safe here for now.
Yeah, for now. We don't know how things will go.
This might just be next episode.
This might be the last episode.
A Skype call.
Yeah.
Yeah, see you guys at another insight. Bye.
Bye.